The mampong highway is a very busy road. Vehicle speed, sometimes above the speed limit, putting the lives of these students at risk. The Senior High Technical School, built in 1975, is the only secondary and technical training institution for deaf students in the country. Classes are now in section. This group of students are presenting an assignment. Even though I couldn't understand the sign language, I picked up it was a presentation on the Constitution. It is lunchtime, and students have to walk to the dining hall to have lunch. The dining hall prefect gives instruction as to how the day's meal is to be shared. A bowl of rice and beans is later served to the delight of the students. Lunch is over, and it is closing time. The 2-kilometer journey back to their dormitories is a risk due to speeding vehicles. Unable to speak or hear the tooting of horns is not a warning sign enough. For a school that is supposed to cater for children with disabilities, one would have thought that it would have been located at a point where movement of students would have been easy. But for students of the School of Deaf Senior High School, their situation is different. The school is located at the joint of a highway, putting the lives of these children at risk. 6 students are said to have been knocked down on this stretch of the road, and one died after being rushed to the hospital.
Because our children are deaf and cannot hear, some drivers, when they want to stop, they think the student in front of them can hear, so at the back of the walkway. If they are not responding, then they use the side of the vehicle to brush them. So sometimes they fall and hurt themselves. Our children have not been very safe, and this has been a great worry to us if they have to walk 8 kilometers a day.
The journey is done 4 times in a day, and the risk is high.
The nights when we close from classes and we are walking down to the dormitory, because most of our students have visual impairment and the road is it's not big enough. Most of them fell into gutters most of the times, and especially the drivers. As they move along, they've been disturbing them a lot, blowing their horns against them whenever they are walking and insulting them most of the time.
To add to their woes, there are no places of convenience on the campus, forcing many to either return to their dormitories during classes hours. How inconvenient is this for them?
So they are not happy, because every day when you have to part some few coins to adjust to urinate or to go to toilet, it's not easy for them. Sometimes when you are hard pressed, you want to ease yourself, you have to go back to the dormitory. And by the time you come, classes 2 is in session. You will be late, and the teachers too will not be happy when you will be moving out of the classroom most of the times. So they need a very good place of convenience here.
3 vehicles supposed to serve that purpose for the school have all developed faults and have been parked. I tried the journey with some of the students, and it is not an easy task. Just halfway through the journey, the clouds gathered, and it rained in no time, totally soaking us in the process. The plight of the students of the School of Deaf Senior High School, having to put their lives at risk at the danger of these vehicles. The rains has also started, and these children have no vehicle to ferry them back to their dormitories. School authorities say they have petitioned the Ghana Highway Authority to construct speed ramps on the part of the highway near the school.
We haven't heard anything from them as yet. If we wait and nothing is being done, we have to take the law into our hands and then do whatever will please the children. If you move on the road, you realize that at certain places there are speed ramps. Meanwhile, those who ply the road, they hear and then they see. So if you give them the speed ramps and the zebra crossings, why don't you give to these disabled children as well?
Authorities, however, want the school to be relocated. Yafusia Jimfi for Joy News. Gad Ewuku, a teacher at the school for the deaf, was involved in an accident a month ago on the Mampong highway near the school for the deaf with his 3-year-old son who died on the spot.
Now, earlier on this year, it was appealed to government as a matter of agency to implement the 2006 Act, Disability Act, to ensure access to quality education by persons with disability. I have in the studio Mrs. Sefako Kumabo Pomye. She is the Enlightening Empowerment, the Chief Executive for Enlightening Empowerment People with Disability in Africa. And Sementia Stanley, or Stanley Sementia, he is the Assistant Head of the Mampong sector of the deaf. Hello, how are you, my friend? What's your name? Tell me your name. Okay. All right, so let's go. Let's look at the conditions that exist in the private disability schools and the disabled schools and that of the government schools. In your opinion, looking at, let me mention the Okomlemle Center for Autism, we have the Mampong School for the Deaf. Comparing the private, and what do you think, in your opinion, is a challenge here?
Thank you so much for this opportunity once again. I think the big issue is about our commitment to accessibility or to people with disabilities in Ghana. So as you want the differentiation between the private sector and the government.
Looking at the infrastructure, quality of teachers, and yes.
Yes, combining all those things, it all boils down to the commitment or dedication we have towards these people. So before somebody should set up a school, they have a focus or a vision which they are pulling up to. So I will say the private sector is more committed of late rather than the government, even as the government is doing a lot.
Why is that?
Yeah, we haven't changed our mindset yet or our attitude. We have prioritized things in our government policies that we are making as a country, even as we mentioned them in our policies, all right, that we have targeted this and that to do. But our priority is still not on people with disabilities in Ghana. So if we talk about those who are in the private sector, they know that is their call. That is what they have given up to, that this is what I'm going to fight for. I'm going to rectify this problem. I'm just going to make something good out of this. So that is why they want to do, when you look at SAP, for instance, that is the special attention program. They are into special learning problem, children with specific learning disabilities or difficulties. We don't even have any attachment to that yet, but thank God we are talking about IE now.
Yeah.
Yes, the inclusive education, and fortunately today is supposed to be the day that they will submit this policy to the minister or the Director General of Education. So hopefully we'll see what exactly will come out of this inclusive education in Ghana and how best we can do as a country committed to these people.
Now, Sementia, you being the head assistant of the School for the Deaf in Mampong, what are the main challenges over there?
Thank you very much. At the moment, I'm helping the headmaster to run the school because we don't have a substantive assistant headmaster yet.
So you are acting headmaster?
Yes, I'm just helping, yes. Now, there are a lot of challenges, but the major one is how to centralize the school. Because we have 2 campuses where we live, they sleep, and where we attend the classes. So it's just about 2 kilometers apart. And looking at the nature of the road,
from Accra to Kofodia. That's where all the vehicles pass through.
Yeah.
And it is very dangerous. I've been in court for about 3 times when vehicles knock down our students.
Yeah. That's what we saw in the documentary earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's very, very, very serious. Just a few weeks ago, one of our staff members at the basic school was just standing by the roadside. A vehicle just knocked him and the daughter down, and the child died. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of challenges since the school has been in existence. That is the only government secondary technical school that admits all the basic schools, the deaf basic schools across the country. I'm from outside Ghana.
Let's look at the learning challenges internally in the school. What are the learning challenges over there?
Yes, because
Infrastructure and everything.
yes, because we are not, the facilities there are not well developed. So definitely the challenges are there because we don't have the materials, the equipment, the vocational departments. You know, these students, they learn very well when they do the practical aspect of it. But if you visit our school now, to marvel you to see almost empty vocational and technical rooms there. The machines there are all broken down. So many years back, which they were brought, but no repairs, which we can't afford. So if we have the materials, the machines, the equipment, I think we can do wonders over there.
Now, let's look at the act. When the act is passed, what happens? What's the impact on society when the act is passed?
When the act is passed, as you asked, we expect it to be implemented. So right now we just have it on paper, and we are aware at least 80 to 90% of Ghanaians know that people with disability have something in parliament. People have different names for it, but there is this awareness that the government has really thought about us and have gone through that process till this time. But what actually are we asking for or requesting? It is the time has come for implementation. So with that, if the acts or the law, the Act 715 as we call it, if it is implemented, somebody can be held responsible if something is not done right. So right now, if the lighting system in their school is not clear, you know, these people use sign language, and the classroom must be very clear. And I can assure you, we don't know as a society how we should relate with these people. Those things are there in the Act. So if somebody hasn't done the right,
shape our thinking, the way we relate to disabled people.
Exactly. But the issue is nothing is happening practically. We have it on paper, all right, and we know that we have a law. But
when it's passed, we're hoping it will be implemented.
If it is implemented, then we can hold even the government accountable for things that are not right in place with us. Things that people are taking us for granted. We can even go to court. We can do this and that. But because it's just there, and we can't just say that this time we are sending somebody to court. Maybe you have held a deaf person's hand. Do you know it's an offense? That is the person's mouth. They sign with their hand, and that is the hand you are holding.
But maybe we should do more of education on these things. Now, Sementia, I want you to ask him, maybe you could sign and ask him what his experience are in school, the things he's seen, what he thinks should be changed and all. Ask him for me. What's his name?
Prince Mocha, he's the school prefect.
Oh, that's great.
The way he's sitting here, I think.
Okay. So he's finding out what his experience is in
there are a lot
school.
of things which are very bad in the school.
He said?
Yes, there are a lot of things which are very bad in the school. For instance, we have 2 campuses where we have our classes and where we sleep as the dormitory. The distance is just too far. So most of the time they walk morning, afternoon, evening to the classrooms and coming back. They get so tired.
They're tired.
Yes. And the worst of all is when they are walking to the classrooms and the rain sets in, all their school uniforms and other things get wet. And their shoes, everything just gets wet. Especially in the night, when it gets dark, it's difficult for them to commute from the two campuses. Most of the time, they used to fall into the gutters when they are walking because
no light in the area.
Yes. And sometimes the vehicles too, when they see the car, they just throw their lights against them, and you know they only use their eyes to to walk.
Yeah.
Yes, he thinks it's better when we centralize the school at the dormitories, so that the distance for walking from the two campuses will be stopped.
Okay. Now let's talk about you have a speech and prize giving day.
Yes.
Give us the activity lined up.
Yes, thank you very much. I'll take this opportunity to invite all the stakeholders, and especially the special guests that we invited.
Who is a special guest?
We have...
Oh, tell us, who's the special guest?
Yes, we have Director of Special Education is coming, and we have James.
Why are you laughing? Is it because they won't come or what?
They will come, definitely.
They will come,
they
sure.
will come. James Samia, the Chief Executive of NAD, is also coming. He's a guest speaker, of course. And we have Nana Mampong or Saberima that day.
So what are the activities lined up for that day?
So we will be having, of course, the speeches. We have awards to be given out. And the program itself, the headmaster has something to say about the school, the challenges and the progress since we came to the school. Yes, and the school drama troupe will also be displaying for the whole world to see how able the disabled are. And the school choir too will be singing,
so it's a whole activity,
a whole lot of activities.
A whole lot of things. The children will be displaying. If you have a cadet corps in the school, I'm sure they'll be doing, or you don't have anything like you.
We are here to train them for that.
That's great. So finally, let's look at what do you expect from society? We know what we want from Parliament or the government. You want them to pass the bill and implement it. Now, when the bill is passed, what do we expect from citizens? What do you want us to do?
Yeah.
By complying to it.
Exactly. First of all, we just want Ghanaians to change their attitude towards people with disabilities. Yes. We have to change our mindset, our attitude. We have to just get it clear that nobody bought this from the market or anywhere. It is anybody's lot at any time. And we have to think about the future. And the fact that people find themselves in this situation doesn't mean this is their end. So because some people attribute disability to so many things, as we know, our culture practices demand. But now the time has come for us to accept the word disability. Even people frown at it. They are just afraid of it. So I call it a taboo topic. Let's accept the taboo topic and let's make it part of us, so that when you are well conscious and prepared and something happens to you, you won't say that, oh, I'm becoming part of this group. Because I remember a friend had an accident and I wanted to give him an aid, like crutches, and he's like, no, I don't want that thing in my life. Wow, can you imagine? Yeah, you just don't want to accept it. It is life. It's a process we are going through. So Ghanaians should just accept the word disability and rather think about how do we help the situation, especially about accessibility in Ghana, because we are now dealing with what? The basic certificate to WASI certificate to whatever degree, or that is the foundation we are laying. So if you want to learn a trade right now, if you don't have anything, any basic certificate, you cannot be what? Productive in the country. So our mindset should be changed, and we should think about making accessibility from our mind. As somebody is driving, somebody is walking, we look at those things. We look at people's special cars. Why not look at somebody's special building that he has started, his own building? But look at it critically. And if we are well aware, ask questions about the issue. Ask people with disabilities, feel free. They will tell you what they need. And if you are aware of it, you can also fight with them and just make the awareness go further. So if somebody is building, you can also ask, hey, are you sure this place is accessible? For instance, Metro TV this morning, you know what happened? How you have to carry me all this while. It's an insult for people to carry a disabled because you haven't made the disability law implemented. I could have sued Metro if
they carried you.
Yeah, I could have sued Joy News if the act is working, because you have carried me. Am I a load? That is it. Okay. So let's be aware of the issue. Let's be part of it, and let's try to what? Act on it, to fight with the people, so that they can also have education.
So we should implement it and we should act on it, all of us. I mean, it's very important. We shouldn't look down on people with challenges or disabled people. Mrs. Sefako Kumabu, Pomaye. She's the EEPD Africa, that's the Enlightened Empowerment of People with Disability in Africa. She's our CEO and Stanley Semensha Assistant or Acting Headmaster, the mampong Tech for the Deaf. And that's their school prefect here with us in a studio. So thank you very much for coming in. Now, the Disability Excellence Award is coming up somewhere in December 8th, and you could text Sefako. I think she's Manawudi. Text one of the nominees. Text Sefako Kumabu Pumaye to the short code 1953 category B. Again, text Sefako Kumabu Pumaye to 1953 category B, and let her win this award. And